Our candidate for Attorney General couldn't be with us tonight. I want to just tell you very briefly. 23 years. 23 years since a Republican has occupied the office of Attorney General, one of the most important constitutional responsibilities in state government. And because we've not been there, we've not fought for the cause of life. We've not stood up to Obamacare. We've not taken causes to the Supreme Court and fought for the values and the traditions that made this country great. Josh Hawley is going to restore that kind of leadership in the Attorney General's office. Please vote for him. So y'all know when you show up on election day, some of you have already voted maybe, you got all these ballot measures out there. Complicated wording, and they try and fool you, and they try and play games with you. Then they keep the polls open in St. Louis. Elections are important, fundamental to our democracy. And I can tell you when the Democrats like Jason Kander have occupied the Secretary of State's office, it has cost Missourians. We have, well, not have an opportunity, we're going to make a change in that office next Tuesday. And we've got a young man who is committed to photo ID so that people can't cheat on election day. Who is committed to fair ballot language so that the people can know when they go and vote that they can trust the words that are on the page. He's going to win. He is a great leader. You may recognize the name, the next Secretary of State of Missouri, Jay Ashcroft.
I see what the Democrats are trying to do with our values and what's made this country great. I get a little sad. I get despair. But when I look around you at all the people that are here on a Wednesday evening because they understand that the greatness of this state and this country is not in our government, it's in that which our government protects. It's liberty and freedom and the ability of people to pursue their own lives as they best see fit. You give me hope. And I tell you what, on November 8th, that hope is going to be actualized. Because we have a great slate of candidates up and down the ticket that will fight for liberty and opportunity for every citizen and resident of the state, and we're going to make a difference. We're actually going to have a governor better than Illinois for once. Can you imagine that? Illinois has a better governor than we do right now. We're going to have a lieutenant governor that understands that his job is to fight and protect Missourians and not do the bidding of the EPA or the Obama administration or liberals in Congress. An attorney general that understands that he's your attorney to defend you and this state against the encroachment of the federal government. I think we have a pretty good Secretary of State candidate. And a treasurer that understands that all the money comes from you. It's not the government's, it's your hard-earned resources that are taken by the government. And as your Secretary of State, I pledge to make sure that we have elections that are fair and honest and transparent, where the will of the people is done, not the will of the bureaucrats or the government officials. Running for some other position that we run out of ballots in the election in St. Louis and tell people, sorry, you can't vote, come back later. That shouldn't happen. They do it better in third world countries. It will not happen when I'm the Secretary of State, because the important thing about elections is your will, your voice, not the government's. Protections for the ballot that make sure that every eligible voter has the right opportunity to vote. We just don't allow them to vote multiple times. It's really simple. We need to have elections that people can have confidence in. The more willing the people are to know that their vote counts, that it will not be disenfranchised by fraud, the greater participation we will have. And when the collective knowledge of the people of the state is working toward the best solution, we will be better off, and we will encourage people to vote with the right policies to make sure that they will know their vote counts. We'll make sure you know what you're voting on. How about Proposition B, where we told it was to stop people from kicking cats and dogs, and it was designed to put every livestock farmer in the state of Missouri out of business? Who's tired of the quadruple or more negatives? You read the amendment and you're like, what am I voting? Just yes mean I'm against it, or no mean I'm for it?
Yeah.
We need to have language on that ballot titles that's clear, concise, and complete. We don't need, like the Missouri Court of Appeals for the Western District. This is what the court said. They said that Jason Kander's language about the Amendment 3 was misleading and inaccurate. The most important thing government does is elections. It's not roads, it's not education, those are important. But elections are how we, the people, consent to be governed. How we decide who will govern us, not as often as we should, decide who will no longer govern us and go home because they haven't done what they said they would do. But we will have elections where it's the will of the people. You will no longer have the Secretary of State putting his thumb down on the scale. But on election day, the voice and will and direction of the people will be heard, because that's the purpose of elections. That's the foundation of our government. And I tell you right now, that's what will happen. And I'm so honored to be the one to fight for you to make sure that happens as your nominee for Secretary of State. We're competing with every state in the country for jobs and economic growth. We're competing with foreign countries. And we need a Secretary of State that's not looking for headlines because he wants to jump to a higher office. We want a Secretary of State that understands if we make it easier to create jobs in this state, we create opportunities for the people of this state. And we take them from being dependent upon the government to being independent. Because I know this, no one knows better how to live your life in Jefferson City or Washington, D.C. than you do. And this country was made great not because Americans are greater than everyone else. Frankly, we are everyone else. But our potential was released by government that protected freedom and ensured personal liberty and rewarded hard work and individuals that were willing to take risks. And we need a Secretary of State that will work with a Republican governor as of January in the state of Missouri to create that opportunity for everyone. Today, and you're not here for me because we've got some other wonderful people here. I'm just glad to take this moment though to thank you. To make sure you understand the importance of this election and how much we can change this state. How much we can change the direction of our country at the federal level and by electing leaders at the state level that will show other states how it's done. That will not let Washington impose its values upon the state of Missouri, but we will start imposing our values on Washington, D.C. so that we truly will have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you all for the hard work, and keep working to a great country. Thank you very much.
Wow. You know, I've been doing this a long time. You know you've been in politics a long time when your candidate for Secretary of State, the first time you met him, he was wearing a Cub Scout uniform.